Hello, can you hear me? Check, check, check. Is the audio working? Quiet? Yep, that's always the issue, isn't it? That's cranked all the way up. That's cranked all the way up. Let's see if we can... There. Check, 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 check. Check. Check, check, check. How about now? Is it much louder? Put like 4 extra dB on there. Cool. Man, I wish I knew about the audio filters feature in OBS years ago when I was filming all of the time. That would have been cool. Oh, that's such a risky hand. Oh, no. Oh, God. One land. But ramp? With a sword? Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Against all better judgment, I'm going to keep this. Because we have enough mana to get the Dowsing Dagger, and flipping a Dowsing Dagger early is always really good. Caesar, Legion's Emperor. I know this one's popular. I haven't seen it much myself yet. Okay, yep. Let's do all this. Cool, yes, so welcome in. We are playing Rograkh, Son of Rograkh, and Akroma, Vision of Ixidor. This is Boros Keywords. We have seen this deck before on the channel. I've made a couple updates to it. I made a couple updates to it, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago when I was playing. I did not get a chance to really test through them all that much. This is one of those decks, I don't know. Testing cards in the 99 is always kind of a pain, unless it's something you're, like, directly tutoring for a lot. So there were a few updates from earlier in the year, and then I added like 1 or 2 very new things to the deck. So we'll see how that's going. This deck's interesting because Akroma being 7 mana means you do need to ramp pretty hard. I've had some like weird game situations come up with this deck. It gets stuck in weird ways sometimes, and maybe that's just the problem that I need to work out. Oh, nice. This is one of the cards that I've been wanting to test out. And I feel like I may have undervalued this a little bit because, like, with Rograkh, you can basically just always do this for 1 mana. So let's get ready for this turn 1. That's going to be a free Rograkh, a mountain, a Springleaf Drum, and nothing else we can do with the extra mana there. So we'll pass like that. You missed the weekly videos hyping up with the opening music? Yeah, me too. You know, I've been thinking a lot about, you know, just particularly that period of time in my life and just, you know, having the time and the freedom to be able to create. And boy, do I miss that. My calendar is so busy these days. And I'm just like, man, I would love to find the time. I've had like, there's been a couple videos that I've kind of wanted to do, and just like finding the time to do it has been brutal. Opponent says, what's all these all new commanders? Yeah. Tavel, the balanced scale. Haven't even seen that one. That's an older set though. That's not a super new one. Is that that's one of the Capenna sets, is it not? Or no, is that the we had a little Tarkir visit in there somewhere, didn't we? Maybe it was that. Tavalla's Tarkir Dragonstorm. Ah, yeah, okay, yep, that was that. That's earlier this year? Is that early this year or late last year? I can't remember now. Tarkir, yep. I'm not crazy, though. It does look similar to the New Capenna logo, right? Or am I crazy? So, opponent playing Bogles over there. We drew a Blasphemous Act, helpful against Bogles. That'll be good. Okay. So if we don't catch a land off the top, things get real bad. But, I mean, in some ways, it's probably just safer to go for Dowsing Dagger. But this does dig us through our library to get us to a land. I'm gonna try it. We'll attack Covert. Covert is is in the Discord with us, by the way. Patreon supporter. They get attacked first for 0. They changed the buttons over here, and that's throwing me off. Because you used to just say okay to everything, and now it actually says like where you're going to. And that's confusing me. Not even gonna lie. Wait, oh, we should be able to do this with Spectacle. Wait, is it damage? It's damage, isn't it? Lost life. They did not lose life. Well, that's bad. I have messed this turn up. Yep, that's bad. Okie dokie. Well, crap. Yep, should have went Dowsing Dagger. That's bad. It's not the end of the world. We have a lot of ramp in our hand. We just need to be able to get through it, but... Yep. This is my first game in probably in a while. Whenever the last time I streamed was the last time I played. I think that was probably like at least a month ago. Maybe not 2. I've been wanting to stream a bit more, and just, man, life gets so hectic. How can I get everything to just like calm down for a little while? Anyway, thinking back to the earlier thoughts of, you know, when I was doing this full time and all that, like I do miss being able to do all of this in the middle of the day, right? Like being able to do this in work hours was like really the hack. And then, you know, you're free to do whatever you want after work. Having to work all day, then do this, significantly more difficult. So, I mean, we're going to be onto that Blasphemous Act very soon. So for a long time, too, I was actually using Ketis as the commander in this deck. And in general, I think Ketis is really good at getting your opponents dead. Rograkh gives you some interesting things with like Springleaf Drum and things that care about free creatures and commanders and weird stuff like that. But Ketis, like, the problem with the Ketis version of the deck is that it makes Akroma so powerful that the only thing that really matters is having Ketis and Akroma in, and you kind of don't care about the rest of the creatures in your deck that much, just because of how much damage Ketis Akroma does. So I switched away from Ketis because of that. It puts like weirdly too much emphasis on Akroma. Yep, opponent's gonna draw with the Toski. That is not the land we were hoping on. That is all very sad. Yeah, well, let's get the Dowsing Dagger. I don't think it's really gonna matter too much where we put this. Put that. We probably should have went the other deck, because if they have this, that means it's gonna be a sacrifice deck. So plan for next turn is hope we catch that land. If we don't catch the land, then it's still another turn before we can attack. Yeah, this hand's a little worse than I was hoping it would be. Caesar into play. But the other thing, too, is, well, we'll need to flip the Dowsing Dagger before we cast the Blasphemous Act, because we're going to need at least a little bit of mana to get ourselves going. But Assuming we flip the Dowsing Dagger without issue this coming turn, we will be in an okay spot. We'll have largely negated whatever gains we would have gotten by... We'll be at about parity of where we should be. Well, opponent's going to be scrying a whole bunch. Yep, attack's coming our way. Yeah, really just kind of preying on the land. If we get the land, we'll actually be in all right shape. We'll be about where we should be. But I feel good in the setup turns after that. Importantly, we'll clean out a lot of stuff from our opponents, which I like. A lot of, like, fodder on the battlefield already. Opponent's got an illegal attack somehow. Oh, Toski attacks each stack of Able. Yep. Yep, drawing all the cards, so that's unfortunate because it means the board wipe won't do nearly as much as we hope that it should. Oh, that's awkward. I mean, I think we gotta play it, right? Get the Arcane Signet. I really don't want to pop the Blasphemous Act yet. Yeah, one more turn. One more turn. Someone else dropped the board wipe, I'd be totally fine with that. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Let's take a read of this thing. This has been showing up in a lot of... when I was looking through some lists, maybe about 6 months ago, this was showing up in a lot of stuff. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose 2. Create 2 1/1s. Haste tapped and attacking. You draw a card and lose a life, or it deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control as a target opponent. Okay, yeah, so... cares about tokens and just very straightforward Marduk combat kind of thing where, yeah, cares about token attacking, cares about sacrifice stuff, and you can do some direct damage also. Importantly, we need everyone to not have multiple blockers. So far, we look okay on that front. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because we don't have any blockers, but we're taking more punishment than our opponents early, which I'm not thrilled about. And we're kind of wide open for the next turn, half a turn cycle, but... Yep, opponent's got their own Arcane Signet. What does this thing actually say? Taval, the balance scale. Flying 4/4. When it attacks, mill 3 cards, then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. I mean, I think it's everything I hate in a deck. Sultai Graveyard plus lands. What could be better than that? And then over here we've got Toski, who is surprisingly annoying, as in it will not get blown up by the Blasphemous Act that we play. It'll get rid of the other stuff, but they're drawing so many that it like doesn't really set them back in a way that matters that much. So that's always frustrating. I'm just going to go over there. Love that. See little blocks. They bounce. Overcome, huh? 2/2 and trample. I mean, I hope it's not us that's about to die. If they're playing this, they must have a lot of these in the deck. They're not thrilled about the Mardu deck. Okay. That's fine with me. Yeah, but I guess the problem is they're going to draw a million cards. Luckily, they haven't really ramped. If we get rid of that, I think that's their only ramp. Though with the 4 cards they draw here, not terribly difficult to draw into some. And then they scoop. That was weird. We finally caught that land, though. It's going to make the Blasphemous Act harder. Maybe not. Finally catch that second land. Okay, yeah, let's equip this thing. Swing over here. Hope this gets through. A lot of open mana at the table. It flips, thank God. Thank God. We can play a game of Magic now. We have the mana. So, yeah, this flipping puts us on 5 mana land-wise, which is where we would have been had we just made land drops every turn. So, a little awkward, but I guess the chance we took is that, you know, if we had drawn another land sooner, we'd be ahead a little bit. Okay, so now we have 4 mana left to work with, which I like a lot. Let's see, that should be 1. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this will be 1, that'll be 1. What else can we get? What would we say, 4 mana? Is there anything we can tap? Tap and untap legendary permanent we control. I don't think we have any of those. 4. Because I would love to get the light up the stage also. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We don't need the Blasphemous Act as badly as we did last turn with the 1-player scooping. So let's actually go Honor Worn Shaku. And light up the stage. Oops. I'd like to see at least 1 land in here. There is not 1 land in there. 2 timing effects. Awesome. Yep, that's the kind of game we're having. So, yep. On the other hand, we can protect our creature when we Blasphemous Act. That's a thing. Giving up Akroma's Will hurts, though. That's like insane. I mean, That's a game ender on its own, or at least a player killer, and in this deck it's even more insane. So yeah, that's about as bad as our Impulse Draw can go. Yay. I gotta love Impulse Draw. Always finds your timing effects. So this is one of the new cards in the deck. Enter the Avatar state. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an Avatar, in addition to its other types, and gains Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and Hexproof. Oh wait, is that not indestructible? Gains Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and Hexproof. Okay, yeah. That is not indestructible on that one. That is worth remembering. This one is indestructible, however. I mean, I'm sure we don't have the mana to do this, but 5, 6. Double strike on the Hearth and Home would be pretty fun. Yeah, that's an attack. Some of it's coming our way. Just the little stuff, I guess. $29, opponent's at 39. They fully tapped out. I wonder if this is gonna bobble. I wonder if they got a board wipe of their own. No. They don't cast anything. That is interesting. I mean, I feel like they gotta have something, right? Five mana, no play, with 6 cards in hand. Worst light up the stage ever. On average, I feel like it should be better than what we just saw. I mean, maybe we still catch the land off the top, and that would be nice. But gotta shake my head at that one. Here comes Taval. There's a land. All right. So light up the stage, doing its work at least a little bit. Let's check our mana. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if we don't need to attack. Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, Hexproof. I mean, I think it's gotta be the sword. God, that's a lot of open mana, though. Well, we can give our thing hexproof if someone tries to shoot it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gotta be the sword. We just gotta get the mana going. Equip the sword. The problem is this thing. Okay, opponent's going to crack the bauble. They've got 3 mana up. Maybe they're sitting to fairies. So Blasphemous Act might not be the best call here. If we see them leave up 3 mana turn after turn, we'll know what's happening. That said, oh, there's a weird thing we can do here. So send this into opponent. We have 1, 2, 3 mana. When we hit with this on first strike, we can get a land and then theoretically play Akroma's Will to get a second land. And then Blasphemous Act. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Hearth and Home. Let's get a Plains. Then, wait. Oh no, I didn't have a stop. I didn't have a stop set there. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that would have been, so that would have been pay 4 mana, get a land, gain a little life, and then we could go into the Blasphemous Act with our guy protected. Yeah, that would have been a nice play. What does that leave us with now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Yeah, that's awkward, isn't it? That is indeed awkward. Can we get any extra mana? Anything we can untap? Legendary permanents don't seem to have too many of those. I mean, if it's a Teferi's, we just got to make him use it, right? Because the longer you wait with that, then the worse things get. Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything else to do, so. Oh, also, and we can just recast Rograkh. We have the mana to do that. Okay, yeah, this is a reasonable play. Oh, okay, Deadly Dispute. That's fine. Rograkh to the command zone. Recast Rograkh. And yeah, put the sword on Rograkh. Yeah, okay, yeah, that worked out. So we lost like no tempo, and opponents lost everything they have, so that worked out. We are in the driver's seat. Love that. Love that. Reanimate. Okay, commander is back. Opponent's down to 15. They got to be careful. Burning through their life. They took that big attack from the green deck and then just, you know, the kind of natural life burn of drawing with black cards. Holy smokes, good to see you playing. Feels like ages since you randomly caught a stream. That's because it's been ages since I've randomly played a stream, or streamed a stream. I guess that'd be the verb. It's Commander Replay, God of Boros. So happy to catch you. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, I've been thinking about streaming for probably the better part of 2 weeks, and just, you know, one thing after another. So made a point of it today just to get out of work, kind of get myself into the streaming zone, and then fire the thing up. So here we are. Just testing out some updates to my keywords deck. We kept a real risky opener. It's now starting to pay off in that we have flipped a Lost Veil and have a Hearth and Home going, and with some mana rocks. But the early first 4 turns were not amazing. We were missing land drops left and right. We played a Light Up the Stage that caught both of our timing effects, which was really terrible. But it did get us to the land after it, so that's something. Satyr Wayfinder is fine. It's not like the rebuild of all rebuilds. Do need to do another mana check here. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, do we just slam big Akroma? Guys, I think we just slam big Akroma. Slam big Akroma set up for, the big attack next turn. And a land. How about that? All right. We're going to have mana. I guess now the thing we're light on is cards, but what can you do? We still got a lot of power left in our hand and our command zone, so that's good. Let's do that. Big Akroma. If we move this over here, that's protection from 4 colors. Might do that at some point. For now, we'll just get this attack. Dragons of Tarkir? Yeah, it's Dragons of Tarkir. We were talking about the logo that... Where'd it go? That guy is from. All the set symbols are starting to look the same to me. It's getting bad. I mean, theoretically, if we do this, we get an extra mana with the Springleaf Drum. What does that do? So we'll get a land. That'd be 2, 3... If we do that, that's we'd have 2 lands, 3. This would be on tap. It would be 4. I don't think that's enough to matter to do all that much. Let's get a mountain, I guess. I wonder if Maria's in the deck. Yeah, let's move the sword over. Protection from 4 colors is really strong. Like, really, really strong. Yeah, pass like that. We have all the big mana stuff in our hand. I do want to see if we have a Maria. If I need to be fishing out all the plains. We do have a Maria, so okay, yeah, we should focus on... I think we have enough mountains to cover it for now. We'll want to fish out the plains. War Leader's Call. Yeah, great card. Are those things still $1 million? And those come down in price at all? I think they were like $10 whenever I looked. Let's find out. We can find out together. Come on. Why is nothing working? $6. Like, it's good. I just don't feel like I want to spend $6 on it. I mean, because for me, also, right, I need to buy like 6 of them. Not more. Yeah, I would love that to come down just a little bit more. Okay, now, yeah, they are 2/2s now. That is much more scary than it was as 1/1s. I should keep the commander off of us, though, just because of the big Akroma. One token. Yeah, I think they'll probably just sack it and do some stuff. What mode do they go with? They're gonna make bodies and looks like draw a card. Yep. Yep. And direct damage. The adult adult gold dragon is kind of relevant in that it has lifelink, and if it gets big, we can gain decent life back. So I like that. We will block a token. Welcome in to everyone who joined partway through here. We had a kind of a rough start, and now we're not doing too bad. Ooh, Whisper is a good card. And more War Leader's Call. Yeah, that damage is gonna... You know, I would love to not kill Covert, just because they're, you know, a follower of mine. But the War Leader's Call is really scary. That said, on the other hand, the other thing it can do is kill the other opponent, because we have not done that much damage to the Sultai opponent, and letting a Sultai opponent go late is never a great idea. That said, they have almost no setup at all. They have one ramp piece, and even their lands are behind, with literal nothing in play as of this moment. So, barring something crazy, okay. Consuming Aberration, huh? It's a good thing we have pro-black. Ooh, Skull Clamp is much needed card draw. Let's check on our mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, potentially 12 and 13. We would need 12 for the Gold Dragon and Akroma. What's in their graveyard? That would be... Ooh. Yeah, we probably need to kill them, because they've got this sitting... Good thing we looked in the graveyard. If this spell was cast from the graveyard, create 10 tokens, that'd be 10 direct damage. And... Yeah. Yeah, I think we just gotta take them out. So... Let's get an Akroma. Hope this sticks. Yeah, there's open mana here. They asked where the Akroma's going. Well, I was going to say you. I was going to say you. One, two, three. And then we get 4. Yeah, and then I think we get the Gold Dragon to... do they have a Settle the Wreckage? Settle the Wreckage would be super bad. It feels more like a Teferi's, though. Tap Rograkh for mana. He says, oh no. Go to combat. Get our trigger. While we're waiting for that to resolve, I watched the heuristic studies video that came out about Fallen Empires a couple days ago, and one of the interesting facts that he pointed out is that there are no creatures with flying in the set of Fallen Empires, which seems insane. Apparently they thought there was too much flying, and flying was OP back then. Yeah, let's see if this sticks. So, I mean, the protection from 4 colors... Wow, they're gonna swords their own creature to survive. They could have swords. They could have swords this. But then I suppose we attack differently. Yeah, that works. I miss that. Like the way Magic is now, it's much. There was a time where swordsing your own creature was much more relevant in the past, and it just doesn't happen that often, that much now, where that's still a relevant thing. And I'm not saying it happened all the time, but, like, I don't know, if you have, like, a Lord of the Pit or something like that, right? Like, swordsing your own Lord of the Pit is probably a good idea. Who do we want to untap? If we untap Rograkh, I think we can draw some cards. Yep, keep the planes coming. Opponent survives at 3. We go to 31. I feel much nicer at 31 than I did at 24. Let's get the Skull Clamp. Oh, this is going to work out beautifully. Tap Rograkh to untap the Honor Warren Shaku. Make mana. Put the Skull Clamp on the Rograkh, and the fact that we blink the Rograkh means that it'll die right here, because it would have been pumped up otherwise, so it wouldn't have died until our opponent's turn. Back to the command zone. Soul Ring and an Arena of Glory. We already play a land? We did not. At this point, I'm just going to hold the Soul Ring because, you know, farewell, austere command, something like that. We have already outramped our opponents by a lot. We don't really have that many cards in hand. No reason to really run it down right there. Opponents are basically in a place where they have to answer our board state. I could have put the Skull Clamp on something else, though. Yeah, that would have been like 2 very relevant card draws. Missed that. This is super helpful though, because like both the commanders in this deck don't have haste, and being that Akroma checks for haste, I mean, if she comes out with haste, that's just like it's really the one thing that this card is missing. Like, it's an incredibly good card. If it had haste, it would be actually insane. If it had haste, it would be like, not quite Craterhoof, because Craterhoof is still insane and busted, but like, it would be the roughly equivalent white Crater Hoof. I know Moonshaker Cavalry exists, but it would have that sort of effect where it comes in, makes everything huge, and does a lot of damage all in one shot. The fact that it itself does not usually attack the turn it comes in, you know, means that you're getting good damage. You're not usually always getting like table lethal damage, or even, depending on what you have in play, even player lethal damage, right? Like we tried to kill one player and they did a thing, but yeah, haste is the one thing this is really missing, and I have to check to see if it's still true. It likely is. Akroma Angel of Wrath is the only mono white creature that naturally has haste. City on Fire is real bad. Yeah, that's real bad. Flashback the Thing. Survive at 1. Hope they don't come in with haste. That's a pretty good play. I'm going to love it if we survive at 1, though. That's a pretty good play. I think the other opponent's definitely dead unless they got something weird. Still at 1. Still at 1. I don't see any haste. Oh, opponent says GG. Survive at 1. Well, it's a good thing we played the Gold Dragon. Life gain for the win. Okay, let's not mess this up. Let's not mess this up. I mean, I think we just attack. Flying. I don't see any flying. I don't see any lifelink on their side. This should do it. Guys, how often do I... Well, not so much anymore because I don't play that much. But when I did play a lot, how often do I talk about lifelink, right? Like, gaining some life in a game is very important. Okay, that was fun. That was fun. Good game to covert. That was a really cool play at the end, by the way. Had we gained even 1 less life or gotten attacked by 1 more token throughout the game, we would have died. Yeah, so, you know, life is a resource. It's not always the most important of all the resources, but it is still a resource, and when you can generate some of it, it is a good idea to do so. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to check chat real quick and see if anyone else wants to jump in. I might do one more here against all better judgment. Ah, that was. I mean, I really gotta. I'm sending him a message now. That was really a great play. Okay, cool. Jeff is in, so we'll have 2 more. I'm gonna have to stall here for a minute while we wait for the next game to fire up. Yeah, gaining life, super important. You know, life is a resource. It's maybe not always as strong as like card draw and ramp in terms of resources, but it is still a resource, and when you can make more of it, you should make more of it. Springleaf Drum was only okay. Like, it wasn't terrible, but in some ways I kind of just wish it was a land. This is interesting. What's the other one? Something Ignition? Heartfire Ignition, is that it? Angel Fire Ignition, I think. How does it compare to that? I mean, it's less mana, which is definitely a thing, but... 2 counters on a creature. That part is cool. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until end of turn. You can't use it as a trick, though. I mean, you can use it as, like, on your, against your own board wipe if you're doing it that way, but... Yeah, it's interesting. Really wish the keyword stuck on there, but... I don't know, maybe we'll try one more with this thing. The hexproof is useful. You can blank a removal spell with it. And, you know, sometimes you just need, like, a little more damage by getting some extra keywords. And again, it's got lifelink on there, and if this didn't have lifelink, I probably wouldn't consider it nearly as highly, but... Okay, both guys are all set. Okay, firing game. I think I'm just going to run this one back. There's still some cards I want to see in here. I would love to see a start that has like a normal amount of lands in it. So let us run it back. And I'm going to get a drink while that's happening. Covert said he top decked the city on fire, but forgot that adult gold dragon had lifelink. Yeah, that is the allure. Adult. Oh God, I can't say it. Adult gold dragon. Weird card in that, like, I mean, this is really the only deck I think I've played it in, and I don't know. It's like one of those cards that if it came out 3 or 4 years earlier, it probably would have seen a lot more play. But it sort of came into the era of Commander where, you know, as the amount of cards released every year started really ramping up and getting kind of crazy. So deck slots get crowded, especially at 5 mana. Like, you need 5 drops to do so much now. Back, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, your 5-drop, I mean, you could have like Baneslayer as a 5-drop, which is good, but, it doesn't necessarily just break the game in half. Like, it's not a resource generating 5-drop for the most part, other than lifelink, but you could just like have a beat stick of a 5-drop, and like we've gotten away from that point where you just don't see that as much. Like, everything's so synergy heavy now, like, every card you don't really see just like kind of good stuff anymore. It's like every card in your deck is working toward a theme of whatever your commander does, usually. Okay, this is going to be a more typical start, I think. But I do like this hand. Okay, we got some interesting decks at the table. So we'll be facing off against Catilda, Dawnheart Prime. That's being piloted by Covert. Protection from werewolves. I'm going to keep this hand. Protection from werewolves. Human creatures you control have tap at 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. It's pretty interesting. We've got Clive, which is a very interesting card that I would like to see more. And, I mean, it's the type of thing like, should I be putting this in a lot more of my red decks? The answer is probably. But I would like to see this one in action for sure. And Jamoka the Eternal, attack bolster, so some sort of +1/+1 counter theme. And I mean, I'll be honest, like that bolster ability, this is not like the most insane of all the dragons ever printed, but like that bolster ability can make things huge quickly, and then you're very quickly you're outsized on the battlefield. The one saving grace is that like our deck should be able to combat size decently as long as Akroma's in play. So it may not be a backbreaker for us as long as Akroma's in play. But yeah, I mean, I've seen this in the like Dragon decks and stuff over the years, and that bolster, it adds insult to injury, right? Like, especially in the Dragon deck, you're already getting attacked by a couple dragons, and now they're getting bigger. And, especially like when there's multiple attack triggers of it, gets pretty silly. What up? And yep, opponent starts it off. Bird's Eye Paradise. Sure. Love to get the game speed going a little quicker here. You know, that is one of the unfortunate things about this game is that there's just a lot of waiting in Commander. It's not like you play StarCraft 2, which I don't really anymore, but I have on and off over the years, right? Like StarCraft 2 is like super fast and every second matters and there's never a moment to rest. So you're like constantly doing something. Basically after maybe the first 30 seconds or a minute or a little quiet, but like, you're not sitting here just waiting. That is the unfortunate part of Commander and Magic. Commander in particular, just with the 4 players, where 1v1 Magic, it's not typically as bad, but yeah, it can be a lot of waiting in Commander. Crack the Marsh Flats. Yep. Into the plateau, get the Wayfarer guy. And we'll pass like that. And we'll try it again. We'll pass like that. Oy. Magic Online. So I'm guessing, with this, Nykthos is probably the thing that we usually want. Nykthos is kind of OP. Like, I mean, if you're running Nykthos in your deck, you basically have to run this because anything that finds Nykthos is going to be insane. So that's basically my plan. Is Nykthos still like a $30 land or whatever? We have the tools. We can check this. Modern Horizon. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's in the list. Wonder if that one's any cheaper. $44. Good God. Yeah, this needs like a full reprint very badly. On the other hand, it's also like kind of insane. Yep, opponent's got their own. Yep. So they're apparently doing Devotion to Red. Jeff said, I have 40 lands in the deck and it took mulliganing to 5 for a keepable hand. Ouch. Well, the good news for him is that he does have card draw in the command zone. Farseek for opponent. There's a thought. So for like years and years, like having ramp or card draw in the command zone is always generally been really powerful. So I think we can do this and then do that and then do the thing. And then we get an Ancient Tomb also. I just want to get the Nykthos going. Ancient Tomb doesn't do much for us in this exact second. Where's Nykthos? Tell me it's in here. Yeah, there it is. Play Nykthos. Play Skullclamp. Cast our commander. I always forget that it's free, and we can do that on the first turn. Doesn't seem like it should be allowed. But yeah, so I mean, for so many years, and even still now, card draw and ramp in the command zone are very strong. All that said, yeah, you won't have your gameplay won't be as consistent. Like, so we have damage in our command zone, basically, right? Like Rograkh does some tricky things with You can skull clamp it and you can put a sword on it, and that stuff's all fine and good. But like if you're the Boros deck and you have damage in your command zone, there are enough good damage dealing things now that you can overcome the hurdles of people that have rampant card draw in the command zone. You can't do it necessarily every single game. Like, if you're looking at percentages and statistics and stuff like that, like large sample of games, you're going to have some sample size of games that just don't go the way you want them to. But yeah, like damage dealing has gotten efficient enough where like, I like, if I bring a strong combat deck against some other, fairly strong, I don't know, Sultai, whatever decks, like, I don't feel like it's as much of a blowout as it was like 10 years ago. I feel like I have a reasonable chance, especially some of the other tools. Boros can actually draw cards and ramp a little bit now. You need specific things. A lot of times you're looking at your equipments, but Ignite the Future, Showdown of the Scalds. What's the white enchantment that's still overpriced? Chivalric Alliance, that one. So like you can draw a few cards in Boros now easily, generally. You may not outdraw the green deck, but you don't necessarily need to. Like if you still have high impact damage cards in your deck, you draw a couple cards and then you slam all the big stuff and cast the waves of aggression, and then people die. Yeah, I don't know. It's like in some ways things have gotten really strong, but in the fact that everything's really strong now, it also sort of like kind of flat, like it kind of balances out in a way, and just that like everything can be strong. Like, 10 years ago, Boros could be strong, but there were cards in your deck that like, there were probably 5 or 6 cards in your deck that were really strong, and then everything else like was not nearly as much. Right, like just the power level like 10 years ago there were very few things that were going to match like Feast and Famine in your deck. Now there are some things that come close, right? And so games where you have a Feast and Famine are probably going to be really different than the ones where you don't. Now there's like enough power kind of distributed around other cards that even if you don't run into it, you can still win a game. Anyway, that brings it to our turn. We draw the Gold Dragon, who saved our butt last game. Never going to look at this card the same twice. It's a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. How much mana do we actually have? We have 2. We'll be on a 3rd. We can get to 4. Does getting to 4 do anything for us? Not especially. So I think we activate this guy again. Nope, I think Jeff skipped a turn. We're going to get that Ancient Tomb because we can do some tricky stuff with this. And we have the dragon to get back the life, which is cool. Play the Ancient Tomb. Skull Clamp the Rograkh. Draw 2 cards. It is going to put us to 9, but I do want to get some draw going. Vanquish and Archetype of Aggression are both magic cards. Unfortunately, we can't cast either of them, so that's going to be a little awkward. We can recast this Rograkh, though, by paying some life. We'll pass like that. Let's get rid of the mountain. Really don't want to discard the plains. It gets weird with the... I think we're discarding the plains. Gets weird if we need to go to Emeria. Means that we like probably... How many plains are in the deck? I'm running a really low land count deck with a lot... Basically like all the things in it. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have at least 9 planes. This one of planes? No. Okay, we have at least 9 planes, so we can discard 1 planes and be okay. Check. Toma Legends into an Esper Sentinel. Ooh, hardened scales. Gross. Oh, no. Yeah, that's really strong in that deck. Bolster 3. What's it say? Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you control, draw that many cards. Do this only once each turn. That seems terrible. Bolster 2. Yep. Yeah, opponent's got some stuff going. There's 5 into our face. Love that. Yeah, that's all happening very quickly. Gotta love green decks. We do not have enchantment removal of any kind. There's a lot of things we're kind of missing right now. We can get the adult gold dragon and at least, like, gain a little life back, which isn't the worst thing I've heard of. Vanquish for, like, yeah, the Vanquish doesn't feel great in this moment. What's this thing say? Unless you control a mountain. We control a mountain. Sick. Let's get the... This gives us trample. Yeah, I think we just get the gold dragon. We'll send 4 back their way. We go back to 34. They did get Commander on us, though. Laid to rest. Whenever a human you control dies, draw a card. Whenever a creature you control with +1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. I feel like there's entirely too many green cards that say draw a card. What do you guys think? Yeah, this thing. I mean, beyond all the ones like we know about, like, yeah, I don't know. Green is card draw a little too easy, in my opinion. Professional Facebreaker. That'll be nice. Hopefully Jeff can get like a treasure token somewhere and kind of get back into this thing. We'll try not to vanquish the Horde on him before he can get some value. Hopefully nothing crazy happens right here, though. The bird is now a 6/7. The bird is getting very large. Ten cards in hand. Wow. Yep, that's scary. What is this? Kuro the Boundless Sky. Flying Death Touch. Don't like any of that. When it dies, search your library for up to 3 land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, or make an XX creature spirit where X is the number of lands you control. Both are kind of disgusting. We draw a Baneslayer Angel. That is interesting. That's more lifelink is what that is. Also flying block. It's protection from dragons is what that is. I do like that. Do we need another land? Yeah, maybe it's not the worst idea to go grab a Maria just so that it's there. Should we be able to get all the setup for it? We do have an issue where we don't have a lot of white mana to our name. We, in fact, have only one white mana to our name. That's awkward. So probably not Baneslayer this turn. Yeah, that's interesting. I would love to cast the Baneslayer. I really don't think we can. We could. What could we do? Is Rugged Prairie in here? Myriad Landscape may not be the worst idea that anyone's ever heard of. That's red. That's red. Okay, yeah. No Baneslayer this turn. That makes me sad. I'm going to get Minas Tirith. That's both white mana and card draw, should we need it. Next question is... Okay, I want to get the archetype of aggression, which means play the mountain. I think I'm going to eat Rograkh. Back to the command zone. Waves and Aurelia is nice. Put this on here, and this makes... That'll make the dragon big enough to trade with either of these. Do you need a discard? I mean, is it Strip Mine? There's no really nasty... That's a nasty land. I think it's going to be Strip Mine. There is a Sun Titan. It's not going to be the easiest thing to get back, but... Haven't seen the really nasty lands yet. Doesn't mean they won't show up. Oh crap, we don't have a legendary creature. This is going to come in tapped if we try to play it. That's unfortunate. Yep, Jeff's finally going to get that attack. I think he's last. Yeah, he's last in the turn order, which feels really bad when you're already behind. You either need like a board wipe that really catches everyone out, or you need to have like a really explosive hand to kind of combat that. They make a treasure token. Exile an instant sorcery card from each graveyard. We don't have any. Oh, he's trying to get to the mana one. Okay. Yep. That's an interesting card. I haven't seen this. So he gets himself a Farseek. Yeah, it's not a bad little play. Is it a creature? It is a creature, so if we vanquish, it would die. Cycles a land. Okay, not coming at us. That was the point. Yeah, that thing's now giant. Yep. We need team first strike. Where's that white archetype? Get through this thing. Imagine that Dromoka with waves of aggression if they change the hybrid mana identity rule. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty good. Extra combats with combat abilities. I mean, it's actually insane in our deck. Like, if we get Akroma down, I was just thinking about this. If we get Akroma down, if untap with her, which is, it's a big ask, I get it. And then slam waves of aggression, like, people be dying. Dragon's Horde. Protection of the Waste. I'm sure I'm not going to like this. Flying, when this creature enters or becomes monstrous, exile artifacts and enchantments. Archetype. With Archetype going down, I think we're on Vanquish now. Especially because they just tapped out. And, you know, like high likelihood. Hopefully they don't have Flawless Maneuver. That'd be bad. Yeah, okay. Archetype and Esper Sentinel down. With that, I think I'm on the Vanquish. Sundering Eruption is a magic card. Yep, all our lands come in tapped. No, we can get a... Well, we got to get Vanquish. How much is Vanquish? 2. Interesting. I think attack first. They take 5. We gain 5. So we could do this to Vanquish. It's actually not the worst idea. Yeah. Because then we can... Let me see if there's a way to make all this work. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. All of our lands come in tapped. If we somehow get Aurelia first, then this would come in untapped. We can make a mana neutral play. Oh yeah, we can make a mana neutral play. What does that do for us? We just get something white that comes in tapped, untapped. I think we start with that. Probably Sacred Foundry. I guess we get Command Tower. Nah, we should be getting Plains though. Yeah, get Sacred Foundry. Pay the life. 2, 3, 4, 5. Still on 6 mana. So yeah, okay. So then we just go. We do need. We probably have to lose one filtering into the thing though. So if we do this, yeah, then we only have 3 left, and then that's an awkward amount. I guess we can get Rograkh back. Yeah, that's something. Oh, and we'll draw cards when this happens. Okay, yeah, I guess we do that. Maybe we should have got that Myriad Landscape then. Oops. On the other hand, if we go white... Yeah, no, we still don't have second white. Yeah, so we have to do it this way. Vanquish the Horde. Hope this sticks. Yeah, we need time, otherwise no one's getting back into this game. They will be able to make a giant spirit, which I'm not thrilled about. Aurelia and Hall of the Bandit Lord. Get back Rograkh. Oh, Rograkh's 4. Never mind. We're not getting back Rograkh. Well, yeah, this turn, awkward mana. This is what happens when you don't ramp enough. Gotta get rid of 2. Ugh, gross. We have Arena. Hall of the Bandit Lord is a pretty rough land. We can ditch the waves. Waves can just sit there waiting for us whenever we need it. Plus, we have Aurelia. Vanquisher's Banner. Seven. We're on 7 lands currently. This will be 8 if we get a legendary creature first. Play that untapped. Hopeful Initiate. Oh, yeah. That'd be really helpful for taking down some of these things over here. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we catch an untapped land, we can just go straight to Big Akroma. Not a terrible plan. Hazard's Monument. Draw with the Tome. Yeah, let's see what the rebuild looks like. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. Sacrifice it. Search the library for a dragon card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Yeah, that could be a pain late in the game. Okay, they go for the recast of Dramoka. I mean, they'll probably send the big thing our way. So that does buy us some tempo in that they can't just like empty their hand this turn, but we still need to, there's an uphill battle here. Who's the commander over here? Catilda. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have not ramped in a way to really make great use of that. I guess well, they get a bunch of humans in. They could start producing extra mana. Opponent scooped. Well, that's awkward. They were kind of the big challenge this game. Oh, Magic Online. Everyone else has been like actually slower than us. We had more going initially, but does Tithe do anything? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tithe gets us 1 at the moment. I mean, I guess we can go on a slower setup. How do we get like more value? Yeah, we haven't ramped great, so a lot of this stuff feels kind of awkward. I mean, we're on 7, right? Yeah, just slam the big thing. Should we give it haste? Yeah, give it haste. Why not? I don't think giving this haste right here actually does that much for us. It's 6 damage, which is like fine, but I think I'd rather keep this land untapped and like, because if we want to give something else haste next turn, I think that might be a much better looking play. So get the Minas Tirith in, put the Skull Clamp on here in case something should happen. You go to combat. Catilda coming in. Yep. Yeah, the Vanquisher's banner, that's going to be nice. Glare of Subdual. Oh, no. Yeah, we need enchantment removal. Tap an untapped creature you control. Tap target artifact or creature. Disgusting. That is disgusting. Funny, though. Aurelia can untap stuff. But if they tap Aurelia first, then it's a whole thing. Yeah, the enchantments. I feel like we need this deck needs a wear tear or something. I think there's a dismantling wave. One dismantling wave. I know there's a farewell. It's probably needs one more piece of artifact enchantment removal at the very least. I actually used to have a lot of success years ago. Just you run like 6 pieces of enchantment removal. That does a lot for you. Well, that's an ancient copper dragon. That's what that is. With haste. Yeah, let's see if they want to use the glare on that. That's probably a pretty good place to spend it. Uh-oh, they're teaming up. They're teaming up. Does not tap down the Akroma. Well, there's still time, I guess. Yeah, this is a pretty ridiculous card. Really, most of the stuff in this cycle, all of them in the cycle, I think they're all pretty busted, honestly. And, like, you do have to do combat damage with it, so that, you know, that is a thing, but... yeah, I don't like this Glare of Subdual business at all. Yep, here comes 6, and let's see how big of a dice roll they get. Uh, 18. Well, he's got mana. He only got 3. His commander draws cards, so we'll very likely be seeing his commander right about now. Yep. Rising of the Day. How bad can this get? Draw equal to your devotion. The first one probably isn't that bad. The continued follow-up of any of this is probably really bad. Okay, so he's up to, what, 5? He'll be up to 7 draws. Okay, yeah. This okay, this can be worse than I thought. Hazard's Monument, yep. Urabrask, Heretic Braider. Ugh. And it's, what are they already past combat, I get. Yeah, they have all the haste. Yeah, I mean, slam that commander, right? Clive, coming in. Bunch of triggers. What does this say? All creatures that attack this turn. That's unfortunate. You want the all creatures text. Doesn't have enough to... it does if you use the Nykthos. I don't even know what's on the backside of this thing. First one is it fights another creature. And then the other one, it adds a whole bunch of mana. And a mana geyser. Cool. This isn't terribly dissimilar from like how an Aheb deck plays, where it just is like almost mono red storm kind of. I don't know what their win condition is. I mean, it looks like their win condition is probably creatures attacking, which makes it a little more bearable. But it's pretty long turn that we're getting into here. Yep, gonna fight a creature. I mean, I assume Akroma. Yep, fighting Akroma. We draw 2 cards. Neither of those are the board wipe that I was hoping on. At the very least, we need to get rid of the Ancient Copper Dragon, because that makes disgusting amounts of mana. And an Inferno Titan. I'll tell you what, for all the things that I like about this deck, the one thing that it does not do is like solve problems. It is a relatively fair combat deck. Like, there are definitely more broken combat decks than this. The thing that it suffers from is it's basically a go wide deck, in that you need you need 3 or 4 creatures on the battlefield plus Akroma, which is just like, it's a lot of mana to sink into creatures that die very easily. I mean, the good news is that we probably don't get Glare of Subdued anymore. That's got pro red. That's something to think about. Given what's on the battlefield, doesn't seem like an awful thing. We could use like a Jeska's Will or something. We need just extra mana to be able to get things done. Have not ramped this game. There's less equipment and tutors in this deck than I typically run. Bonus says, last time I listened to DeWubber, yeah, this turn has gotten very long. Very, very long. It's actually in our graveyard. We have a Gold Dragon, Weathered Wayfarer. Those are the only 2 creatures, just in case we draw one of the mass mass reanimators. What does this do? Deals X damage to each creature. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent's control die, you may create a treasure token only once each turn. Well, he got his commander killed. What's the damage equal to? Deals X damage. Nice. That's actually a big deal. We did get his commander killed. Now we can recast his commander, but he won't get all the mana. And he is strung by mana right now. He does have overwhelming board state. That's still a thing. There's the Urabrask trigger. Into a plains. Gross. Could have used something a little more impactful than that. We should play the plains. There is still just a lot of damage on the battlefield. 1, 2, 3. I think Baneslayer. What's the follow-up? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Baneslayer and 4 mana Aurelia. I think that's the play. We need to be really careful with our colors. Oh, I should have used Arena of Glory on that. Crap. That would have been very nice life gain. Yeah, that'd be 7 life. Plus we have the Vigilance. Yep. That hurts. Yeah, that was a very epic turn. It was not the most fun to sit through, but at least he got to do something. See if Coven's just sitting on a board wipe over there and just waiting for us to run all of our stuff into it. Yep, there's a farewell. Leaves the enchantments. I am sad about the Baneslayer. Baneslayer and 4 mana Aurelia, like, never see the light of day. They always die immediately. They do not make it. Oh, they get the graveyard too? Yeah, Waves of Aggression down. Yep, Waves, well, that's unfortunate. Luckily we have this Aurelia. We lost the Skull Clamp. That was all of our card draw. We do have the Minas Tirith, which we'll probably need to start using, as problem is all the creatures that we have are very expensive, and we have not ramped. That's in the Heb. That's a good follow-up. With haste. Yeah, they have double haste enchantment. Or the haste enchantment's going to be a problem. Yeah, that 7 life would have been real nice off of the Arena of Glory with the haste. Whoops. I think that's most of the lifelink creatures, which is unfortunate. This is going to be 9. That's brutal. We're ahead of our opponents on lands a little bit. Also, we have the Nick, though, so if anything actually sticks on the board, we can make multiple plays in a turn. What does this one do? Whenever you attack, you may discard a card, trample, counter. Whenever you discard one or more card, exile may play that card until the next end step. Hey, a piece of ramp. Where have those been all game? Play the planes. Check the lands. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is awkward for just about everything. I think that means Signet, get our commander back. We're doing it with haste? Yeah, all the creatures in our hand have haste, so might as well do the thing. Oh, you gotta pay one for that. Hasty Akroma into Dewubber. Okay, let's figure out mana for next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6. That one on tap. 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 8 plus 6 is what? 14? We need 14 mana. 14 mana, and we can get Akroma and Aurelia. Cathar Commando. Boy, would I love to see the haste go down. That stops the commander from coming in. It's a good thing we got our commander in, because Drannith Magistrate. Our deck is significantly worse without our commander. You know, I do wonder, like... You know, I've always tried to use the, like, more fun... The bigger, the higher CMC, more fun type creatures with this deck. I always kind of wondered if you just, like, you know, if you put, like, every 3 mana double striker in a deck with Akroma, what that would look like. And really try to go, like... Because, again, you do need a lot of things in play to really get value from this. I mean, this one does get a lot of value, but... Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to try out at some point. I think I've tried some variation of it in the past, but there wasn't quite enough card draw to make it work. I feel like there might be now. The bad news is that Glare of Subdual is up, so we probably can't get too explosive in our plays. Because they will just tap our stuff down. That's a Mirage. Yeah. Glare of Subdual is really interesting in that it gives you like a really powerful way to control the battlefield. I should put this in Tap Creature Tribal, by the way. It seems kind of strong there, because the one thing that deck doesn't deal with well is things attacking you. Great way to turn all the little value creatures into things that stop you from getting killed. Okay, they're going to tap down the Neheb. It's good. Do they want to tap down the Mirage also? They do. So they have no Glare of Subdual triggers, which means we can try to have that explosive turn that we talked about. Still need like a ritual of some sort to really kind of get the mana for it, but... Yep. What does this say? Untap all creatures you control. They can get past the glare with if they have land drops. We fortunately have very good blocking with the... This is an incredible blocker, so... The first strike, as of right now, trades profitably with everything. So anything they send into us, we can kill at least one of them. Okay, there's a landfall. How much is that? That's 11 plus 7 is 18. Oh, we can put them really low. Yeah, they all on tap. Really good blocker right here. If nothing else, God, I love how well the white Akromas block. Yeah, I mean, you can send that over here if you want to. Wouldn't recommend it. Oh, they're going to Teferi's Protect. Okay. Yeah, that's a big enough chunk of life that... Oh, if they put the thing over here, it could get out. Yeah, it could get... Okay, I see what they're doing. If they put the counter on this, then it could get big enough that we don't kill it. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. That's unfortunate. Yep, can't block that one profitably. Just going to take this shot for, what is this, 9? Ugh. Especially all the lifelinkers went down. There isn't a Chroma's Will in the deck. Yeah, Chroma's Will would gain us a lot of life. That'd be real nice. There's a Showdown of the Scalds. That's interesting. How much damage do we have? I doubt we have 24 damage. Like, I don't feel like that's a number we get to this turn, unless something real crazy happens. Let's check on our mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 if we play a land. 12 is at least enough to go Aurelia and Showdown of the Scalds. We can also go Akroma and Showdown. Okay, so that means let's get the Showdown. Oh, life's getting low. It also makes Nykthos mana neutral, so that's good. Might be able to find a little extra mana this turn. What do we find? We find light up the stage, Venat, the Warring Triad, and a land. It's not everything I really hoped on. Light up the stage is 2 more cards, if nothing else. Venat's more card draw. How much mana do we have left? We have enough to do the thing with Venat. There's an indestructible blocker on the backside I like. Put a counter on a creature you control, it gains indestructible. Yeah, double indestructible seems very good. That's also legendary. It's interesting. We are at 10. We have to be really careful with our life. What would we exile? Exiling Morag is probably a very good idea. Yeah, opponent has no cards in hand. Yeah. Okay, so opponent has no cards in hand, which I think means just like flood the board. Opponent could choose to get us killed. On the same token, they probably have to leave Glare for... Play the land. Start with that. I mean, what does this do? So if we just go this thing, this becomes what? A 12-12 plus that is 18? I mean, that's kind of a lot. What would this do? This would be come in and this would be 6, and then it would turn into a 9. That'd be 6 plus 9 is what? 17? Plus 6 more is 23? Oh, that's really close to death, isn't it? How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crap, we used that already. Yeah, we don't have another haste. We would need to get, what, 8 cards in our graveyard? That's not about to happen. So I think... Okay, yeah, let's get Venat. I think just flood the board with bodies. Feels like the play. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's crack this thing. Let's do this. I guess in some sense, yeah, because we can't kill anyone, we probably want to force them to kind of still war with each other a little bit. What does this get us? Gets us 5 mana, which would be 6. It's kind of awkward. Yeah, no, we can't get to Aurelia because we don't have the colors. Gross. I think I messed up our mana at a time that is not good to mess up our mana. Well, that's the case then. They go down to 18, 12 commander. Oh, that's the thing we could have thought about. Light up the stage, cast with Spectacle. See if we catch anything cool. Prophetic Flame Speaker, not so much. Plus a land. Can we cast the flame? No, we can't cast the Flame Speaker. Let's get the Warring Triad. If not, we get to draw. We have found all of the lands now. How much is this thing? That is 4. We do not have 4. We can play the Tithe to just get it out of our hand, grab the plains. I wish I held that up because we could have left up Subjiri Shelter. Hopefully that won't matter. Oh, I'm dumb. So if we win Aurelia puts them at, like, I don't know, 1 or something, and then they would just be able to come in and kill them. I'm dumb. That was very dumb. This is the plan where we make Covert use all of their stuff to try and deal with this nonsense, which isn't the worst idea. I mean, honestly, just trying to, yeah, probably going on the attack probably just made more sense, honestly, but doing the Aurelia thing. We are then very wide open. We're still we're like needing to buy ourselves tempo a little bit. Catilda. Because of the Drannith Magistrate, like, they have overwhelming incentive. Yeah. So because of the Drannith Magistrate, they have overwhelming incentive to try to kill Covert. Ooh, Halo Fountain is spicy. Where, like, they don't have as much incentive to try and kill. They got to worry about the commander damage, but they still have, like, enough life that it's not the end of the world yet. They can glare a lot of things with the Halo Fountain, so they can do that. They can do 5 essentially. That's a lot. but it could get tricky with the Morag if they have a land. There's 3 cards in our graveyard. If we tap this twice, if we tap that, that's 4. If we crack that, that's 5. I'm getting close to the Warring Triad being a creature. Oh, you know what we can do? We can use Venat to exile the Glare of Subdual. That's the removal that we need. Very sadly, no keywords on Venat naturally. The keywords on the backside of Indestructible. That's the case. We might have to actually throw Venat under the bus. Let's see what they want to do with these. Ooh, they're getting that first attack off. Well, Venat's about to go into the bus. Yeah, this Jiri Shelter would have been really helpful to leave up. See what opponent's got. Beast Within on Morag. Love that. Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. So now none of our stuff has to die. They will not get any second combats. Still not sizable attacks coming in their way. Importantly, the number of things they can glare now decreases to 4. Neheb. Oh, right. You can't cast the spells off of this because of the Drannith Magistrate. So opponent's kind of stuck. Like, they're wide open. Well, they have one blocker. But they're mostly open with no cards, can't cast their commander. Like, not anything they can do, really. Yeah, the green-white lockdown is what we got going on over there. We're going to mill a card with the Warring Triad just to get that into creature form here. Hopefully we don't hit things that we want. Opponent's going to tap our thing at the end step, which doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. Says he loves being stacked out of a bracket 3 game. Honestly, I don't mind it, right? Like, games get so fast and out of control now. Like, as long as I can still do something, it's fine, right? But, like, having, I don't know, I think it's interesting when you have, like, at least one thing on the battlefield that, like, makes you have to just kind of, like, figure out how to solve a problem. Oh, okay, they're just making the... So what do you have to do? You have to untap a creature you control. Okay, so they're just trying to make the 1/1. We'll make a white mana. Go to the next turn. We milled a plains. Yep, that's fine with me. We have hit the pocket of lands. Brings it back to our turn. Now we got the showdown trigger, which is actually really cool, so our stuff can get rather big. All right, let's try not to screw this turn up. Try not to screw this turn. Okay, here comes all that. Okay, so we can't do the Venat thing because they're going to tap it down. That's unfortunate. Unless, of course, we use Aurelia and have a lot of mana. We'll see how all that plays out, but we are getting into a point of the game in which... Aurelia plus what we have is potentially lethal on both players. Yeah, okay, opponent has one glare. Ooh, that's a Sun Titan is what that is. Play the Homer. Yeah, do we have landfall? We don't have landfall. Well, the problem with Sun Titan, we can get a hasty Sun Titan. Hasty Sun Titan gets you a lot of lands is what that does. What that doesn't do is turn this into a creature. Undecided how I feel about either of those. This probably gets through if we give it haste. The problem is... Yeah, the problem is that they have one tap left. Oh, you know what, though? They can't defend themselves. Can we get Aurelia and Akroma? They have one tap left, and we can just protect it with Sajiri's Shelter. Okay. Yeah, we've got a plan. We have a plan. Okay, let's not mess the plan up. So... We should play this homeward path just in case. Check on our mana. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 before Nykthos. We need 8 plus 6 is 14. We need 16 to Akroma, Aurelia, and Sajiri's Shelter. I think we should be able to do that with the Nykthos mana. So that's already... Yeah, we have 5 Devotion in play. So I think, yeah, I think we just go... So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and at least 13, 14? Yeah, we might have to cast one of them first. Okay, let's get Aurelia. It probably goes better if we go the other way. Can we get... Okay, we need to be very careful with our colors. Get an Akroma. Put a counter on... Let's say Venat. No, let's say here. That does good things for us. 7 is a good number. Akroma is in play. Let's make a crap load of white mana. Unless they tap us out right away, we're going to have a timing problem. Crap. Okay, maybe not. Let's undo that. Maybe we're not on Aurelia. Yeah, so we go that. That gets us 8 white mana, and then we have to use red, and then we're 1 short? Or we could haste the Sun Titan, is what we could do. Does that work? That won't kill everything, but it does give us much-needed blocking. So if we go this and this, that's 8 white mana. And we can haste it with that. And then we get a land back. Basically, we just need enough... Oh, I know what's... No, that doesn't work. If we turn this into a thing, what does it do? God, this is complicated. I mean, do we just cast this thing? No, that won't get big enough to kill anything. I don't know if there's a way we could have prevented this. It's 8 white mana. We have 11 mana total remaining. God. Yeah, Aurelia's colors really do. Really rough. Really, really rough. Yeah, I think we just got to do it at this point. I don't think we have... I think we've tried everything else we can try. Oh, we can't target that one. That's unfortunate. Here comes the weird part. We have this Sajiri shelter, but our mana is kind of boned. Maybe we try it this way. Yeah, let's try it this way. Let's use it on the Akroma. And hope they don't tap the Aurelia. No, they're going to tap the Aurelia. Crap. Yep, if we had that one mana. If we had that one mana. What else does this get us? Creatures without flying can't block. Doesn't help us that much. Yeah, we do have a pretty big problem in that we do not have the number of blockers that we need to survive. Nothing good happens if we kill Covert. Because then, what's his name comes in, and then all the craziness happens. Oh, interestingly. I think we just go over... No, that's not Commander. That will not kill him. Okay. Yep, big poke in the air. God, Glare is so broken. Opponent's down to 6. One card. He's got, what, 6 taps with the thing? Note that they can gain life also. Five cards in grave currently. We'll want to use this. This will get us to 6. We need to get to 8. Did I get to 6? That could be 7. That could be 8. Boy, do I miss that Waves of Aggression. Game would have been over. Jeff says he's playing Kingmaker. I mean, we sort of were too. Glare on Neheb. All right, 1 glare down. Also, that's a significant amount of damage. That means we should be able to survive the turn. He's just going to scoop there. Okay. Let's do this. Angelic Renewal is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting with Sun Titan. That's for sure. Getting through the glare is going to be... He's dead on Angel Attack. Okay, yeah. So they have, what, 5 glare triggers. We've got 4 creatures. We can get at least 1 with haste. Ideally aiming for 2 with haste. Oh, this is going to go in the graveyard, I think. Dousing Dagger is late to the party. Yeah, glare on Big Akroma. Opponent's at 11. Glare on Venat. Yeah, that's sorcery speed. Can't do much with that. Glare on Aurelia. Yep. Untap 2, draw a card. Glare on Akroma. Casting our commander will be 4 mana, draw a card. Dousing Dagger is bad because we give them more bodies, and that's not a thing that we want. Yeah, the problem too. Flying Trample Haste. Yeah, the other problem is that is there a way to sacrifice any of our things? If we could get something killed, that'd be super helpful. Man, we really just flooded with the lands. So, like, we could get one attack off. Okay, so we probably want to play... How many cards in our grave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, man. So... tapping this would give us... if we crack the land, that gives us an attacker. That attacker's not lethal, though. That's a 5/5 that would become an 8/8. And the problem is they have, like, probably 4, 5, 6. They have 6. Well, if we force them into that, they can't pump the team. They've got, like, just enough to be about lethal. Okay, I'm gonna... we would need something really big to hit with the Sun Titan. Need a way to... yeah, if we could, like, get Sun Titan, find a way to get one of our things dead, that'd be the most ideal. I guess maybe we're on the Rograkh draw plan. Yeah, okay, Rograkh draw plan. Probably try to avoid the Ancient Tomb also. Nope, not like that. Yeah, Rograkh draw plan. Let's go. There's 9 white mana. Cast Rograkh. Oh, we can't. The Drannith Magistrate. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. God. Wait. Oh, we put them so close. So that... no, we can't, because we can't cast the Dowsing Dagger. They get the plants. The plants are bad. The plants are bad. God. Yeah, we needed not Dowsing Dagger right there. Also, all of our card draw was kind of weak. Maybe I should have saved the Sajiri Shelter. Yeah, probably should have saved it. I think we got a mill. No. Yeah, again, I mean, if we attack with this, it's just not lethal, right? That's the problem. We need something better. Boots are medium interesting. Oh, you want to know what boots do? Boots stop the glare. That's what that does. Okay. Okay. Try something. Ooh, this is a creature. It's tap, though. Crap. Get the boots. Equip the boots. No, yeah, I think I didn't do any of that right. Yeah, we're out of tricks. We are out of tricks. Two, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, they probably have it. Yep, can't cast our commander. Oh, that's frustrating. The play with the Sajiri shelter. Really needed to save it. Yeah, I mean, pump the team swing. Not yet, I guess. Thalia's lieutenant. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that was frustrating. That would have maybe helped a little. There's all the ramp that we didn't draw early in the game. Oh my god. Yeah, see, like early in the game, this stuff helps you. This late in the game, less so. Yeah, I don't know. I probably just needed to hold the Sajiri shelter. And, I mean, also Jeff scooping didn't help anything right there. Because he just has to react differently. Yeah, and that's the problem. This deck, you know, you can play it fun. If you try to play it fun, then you're not able to solve problems in the way that you need to be, right? That's sort of the issue. You know, this deck has its limitations. Could have made... There were points along the way, too. We just could have made better plays. Got really unlucky. The Baneslayer and... we got unlucky that it was Farewell, right? So Baneslayer and 4 mana Aurelia going down was pretty bad. And the fact that it was Exile... We had, like, some ability to get things back. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Honestly, it all kind of just stems from we didn't really ramp early, right? All the ramp showed up late, and then we just kind of drew dead for a while. And that was all kind of terrible. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Yep, I'm going to call that a night. So, we'll catch you guys again real soon. Have a good night.